right, y'all. Let's talk about New Jersey Housewives. It came on last night. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by, and let's get into it real quick. All right, so we start off at breakfast, and Dolores calls David and asks and saying that, me and David are still on the outs right now. We don't sit down and talk. We go away from each other, and we separate and we defrost, and we don't have to worry about that because we're not married. Okay, Dolores, we're not married. We can do that. Married people can do the same thing. You know how many married people run around, get into conflict with their significant other, and then go off to their separate corners and then come back after they defrosted? You not being married doesn't make the behavior change. I don't understand why people think that. The behavior is not whatever you're getting right now, and a person who you're not married to, when you're married to them, you're going to get it times 10. Trust. Margaret is talking to Joe. Now, the way that Margaret was talking to Joe, I felt like, based on Joe letting us know that he heard the rumor about Evan, Margaret says, did you talk to them about the situation? And Joe says no. So he lied to her by saying they didn't talk about it when they did. Or is Margaret talking about the situation, that they know something, and did you talk about that? But either way, he talked about it. Whether he knew something or not, they talked about it. So he lied about that. So I wonder if Margaret knows something. Now, here's the thing. If Margaret knows something about Evan maybe possibly being unfaithful to Jackie or having some type of affair, is she wrong for wanting to stay out of it? Is she wrong for acting like she doesn't know? Is she wrong for that? Or should she tell Jackie, hey, listen, I heard the rumor too, right? You don't have evidence. It's unfounded. To me, I feel like she should not say anything. Now, with Joe telling the guys that he's heard the rumor, one of the guys is going to tell, either Frank is going to tell Dolores, or Joe Gorga or Bill is going to tell their wife. Like, Joe said he heard something about it too. So what's going to happen? Right? So I felt like when he said that, when she said, did you talk about the situation? I was like, do they really know something? What's up with Margaret? Anyways, they're sitting down having breakfast. What's her name? Lexi with her strong, thick-ass accent. Lexi goes and gets breakfast for everybody. They're sitting around having cheese and egg croissants. And Teresa brings up Jackie. And she says, you know what? I thought about Jackie, and I'm madder now. I'm madder now. So she says she's mad because she thinks that Jackie should apologize. And I'm getting angry, and I'm not apologizing to her. And she's lucky I didn't drown her. I didn't drown it? Girl. So they go down to the water. So we noticed that Teresa, throughout the episode, is bringing up Jackie over and over again, even though she says that she's over it, even though she says she doesn't want to talk about it, even though she says she's getting mad when they talk about it. She only really gets mad when they hold her accountable. And what I do appreciate is Margaret always speaking up for Jackie in her absence, right? So she can look at this footage of what's going on and know that Margaret keeps speaking up for her. But if Margaret knows that Evan is really doing some shady stuff and not saying, I'm still trying to figure out, should she say anything to Jackie, or should she just mind her business with that, right? Without evidence, mind your business. So they take a walk down some steps, and they come out in their bathing suits and stuff like that. Is that early? Yeah, no, it's still in the morning. They're sitting around the table, and they go outside. They want to go outside. They didn't go down to the lake yet. They're outside, and they're sitting there, and Teresa is looking online at her friend Tony, who is the pool guy, right? And she's like, yeah, Tony's fine, and Tony has a nice body, and this and that. And they call Tony to ask him, like, oh, why did you post that picture to Instagram? He has a nice body and this and that. So they're telling Teresa, girl, you should fuck with Tony. She was like, no, we've known each other since we were kids. I'm cool. He's not my thing. We are just friends, right? So they trying to figure out. The cameraman, I don't know what was going on with the cameraman, but he kept having the camera on Teresa's ass. Now, I'm not going to even front. Teresa's ass and that bathing suit and that knit shit she had around her waist, her ass was looking proper. Like, I was like, okay, Teresa, because remember a few seasons ago, was that last season, where Teresa was doing bodybuilding? So she got her body together. The back of the her butt, I was like, if I was the cameraman or the camera person, whoever, I would have had my damn camera on Teresa's ass. They showed Teresa's ass about a good 5 or 6 times, but I don't blame you. It was looking great. It was looking great. So they're sitting down around the water, and they're sitting on the water, and Teresa, Jennifer, and I think it was Melissa. Was it Melissa? They went out on the water. Yeah, they were out in the water because Jennifer was making comments about Melissa being an ice queen and her taking pictures and look at me, who looks better, the swan or me? Be honest, it's me, right? So she has this thing where she says that Melissa is self-absorbed, and Jennifer is a little self-absorbed too. She does say on a previous episode that she if there's nothing wrong with being a little self-absorbed, right? We all have a little bit of narcissism in us, all of us. Okay, they're done swimming. What's her name, Margaret, says she doesn't want to go out on the water. Dolores says she's not going out on the water, but Dolores and Margaret are talking and saying, like, I think Teresa should get with Tony. She's like, yeah, she should, but Teresa's like, no, I'm not getting with Tony at all. Tony the pool guy. Dolores says that Teresa, while Tony is a good catch, Teresa needs to get out of the small pond. I guess that is the area that they live in, New Jersey, and to broaden and expand her horizons with who she wants to date, right? She needs to get out of the small pond. And she says, well, because she's doing it the second time, Teresa says that she wants to make sure that she gets with someone who is sweet, attentive, and lovey-dovey. That's what she wants in a partner. And so she calls out to the heavens and asks for Nono and her mother to bring her a nice guy. Because Teresa wants a nice guy since she's going to do this for the second time around. So the girls are done swimming in the lake or whatever and, playing around. And so they say, we're going to go back up. And Jennifer tells Melissa to hang back. And if she did that, Teresa looks around. Teresa's so nosy. She don't want nothing to happen without her knowing. She really thinks I don't know, she thinks she's Scarface. I don't know if she thinks she is damn the Godfather. I don't know who she thinks she is, but she turned around and looked like, what they talking about? So Melissa and Jennifer sit down, and Jennifer shares with Melissa that when she first met Michelle, that Michelle told her that Joe Gorga owes her husband tens of thousands of dollars based on this empowerment seminar that they've been doing called Growing with Gorga. I've never heard of it. I don't know. Maybe it's just a regional thing or a local thing. I never know anything about that. So Melissa doesn't get mad at Jennifer. She's like, what? Are you for real? She was like, why in the hell would my husband split Growing with Gorga with anybody? That doesn't even make sense. And she was like, girl, don't shoot the messenger. That's what she told me. And then the first thing Melissa goes, does Teresa know that this woman is talking shit about her brother? Why is she asking? That's the first thing she asks. Why? Because this is the same woman helping Teresa sell her house. So she wants to know if you're going around. And I thought it was weird when Teresa finally talked to Michelle, and Michelle was like, well, Jennifer asked me what I thought about Melissa. So if she asked you what you thought about Melissa, you thought it was a good thing to tell her that Melissa's husband owes my husband tens of thousands of dollars? Bitch, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. So we want to know, did Teresa, she was like, thank you for letting me know. She wants to know, she's more concerned with, does this woman know that, or does Teresa know that this woman is talking shit about her brother, right? So they get upstairs. So they were like, what were you guys talking about? Teresa wants to know. She was like, I'll let Melissa tell you. So Melissa says, yeah, the real estate agent that you're dealing with, she's going around talking shit about your brother, saying that your brother owes her husband tens of thousands of dollars. They were like, what? You saw Lexi's face was like, what? Tens of thousands of dollars? She was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, do you know that she's talking shit about your brother? She was like, girl, I don't know, but I'm supposed to be meeting with her. And when I meet with her, I'll talk to her. She was like, yeah, you better get that shit straightened out, because if she's going around talking about your brother, basically, we all know if it was the other way around, Teresa would be on Melissa's ass like, talk to your friend, talk to your friend. She's talking about my brother. She's talking about my brother. You better check her. You better check her. You better check her. Right? And so Melissa's like, y'all, you always bringing around some cuckoo person around here trying to talk to us and get in our business and stuff like that. Why are you always bringing these people around? Child, you know what guys do. So Teresa, the way that Teresa was saying, she was like, guys have things going on that we don't know about. So I really can't speak up for your brother. So Melissa is kind of offended. She was like, oh, you don't know that your brother's not dishonest? And to Teresa's defense, I don't really defend Teresa, but based on her recent experience, she's not going to jump up and be like, well, I don't know, she better not be talking about my brother because your husband was doing shit. She was like, they'd be like, girl, don't worry about it. And they doing shit on the side. So from Teresa's perspective, based on her experience, I can understand why she's taking that stance. Like, I'm not about to speak for my brother. I don't know what he's doing. Will I talk to the lady about it? Yeah, I'm going to talk to her about it. But I'm not going to defend my brother because my husband was doing some shady shit and told me, don't worry about it. And I ended up in jail for 1.5 years. So I'm a little funny about jumping up defending men when they be doing stuff, because I don't know. So I understand what she's saying completely. I get what she's saying. But from Melissa's standpoint, had it been the other way around, Teresa would be adamant on, Teresa was even mad when Melissa was not defending her against Jackie last season. She was like, you don't jump up for her, don't talk for her, don't defend her, defend me, I'm your sister-in-law, right? So Teresa's very much, stand up for me, but when it comes to standing up for you, I don't know, maybe, let's see, I gotta see first. But it can go both ways, but based on Teresa's just recent experience, I could see why she's taking that stance. I don't know what my brother is doing, I'm not in his business like that. So I can't speak to that. And that's just what it is. She said if we didn't defend her, she would be talking shit too. Well, she's the #1 realtor. So, and then even Margaret goes, well, that's unprofessional. That can hurt your business. And it can. Because how in the world, if Jennifer says that Michelle is supposed to be helping her find a shore house, but you're gossiping. You're gossiping about a person that your husband did business with, who is the brother of another woman who you're helping sell her house. How did you think that talking about this woman's brother would not get back to her, one, and two, would not affect your business? Because it is unprofessional. And there's no other way around that. But of course, Teresa's like, she is the #1 retailer in this area. I'm just saying. Girl. And so Teresa goes, call Joe and see what he says. Go call your husband. So Melissa goes and calls him, and she asks him, what's up? Because this girl is telling people that you owe her husband tens of thousands of dollars. What's the tea? And he says, well, we worked together, but there was never any agreement on, compensation or splitting anything with him. I think what he saw was the success of growing with Gorga, and so he wanted something on the back end. So we're going to find out, because Joe does confront him later. So we're going to see what's going to happen. And Joe was like, I'm not that guy. And it's true. Like, you really can't trust these men. You can't trust people too much, especially when it comes to business. It's not great to just jump up and defend somebody right away. Just like with Sharon Osbourne, you jumping up defending Pierce Morgan, but you still want to know what he said was racist. How you jumping up defending somebody and you don't even know what they actually did? So you need to hang back a little bit, because you don't know what Joe Gorga is doing. But Joe tells Melissa, I'm not that guy. I don't do stuff like that. I don't play like that. But coming on the heels of him, posting a fake picture of a renovation or a remodel that he did, and he was lying about that, we don't know if you're not that guy, Joe. So we'll see. The jury is still out. So Melissa tells Teresa, you're always bringing these weirdos around. You're always bringing some cuckoo for Cocoa Puff ass bitches around here. What is that about? And she's like, well, I'll talk to her when she comes to my house on Wednesdays, because she's supposed to be taking pictures of the house, and I'll talk to her. So now they're getting ready and setting up for dinner, right? And then they go to Jackie. Jackie's brother comes, and Jackie's brother, she said, has a learning disability. So she's talking to her brother, who just got back from being on a damn ship for a month due to COVID. He was stuck in South America. I think they said he was stuck in Chile. And so he's now visiting with Jackie, and Jackie is explaining to him what happened with Teresa. And the way she's explaining, she's like, she said something so mean to me, and so mean, right? And her brother was like, listen, you can't stay mad at people forever. You just got to be better, get better at brushing things off. It's easier to be happy. And she says one thing her brother has taught her is to be a kinder person. So we'll see. I don't think Jackie does a good job at it. Because the next, honey, at that damn dinner, I was like, Jackie, if you don't stop mentioning this thing, I thought that the point was to have another dinner for him, was not to mention this issue that you had that messed up the last dinner. Anyways, they're having dinner by the lake. It's catered. It's nice. It looks really, really nice. They're all sitting down, having drinks and talking. They're talking about Teresa, having small talk about Teresa getting on dating sites. And Teresa's like, girl, I cannot get on a dating site. It will be in all the blogs. So no, I can't go that route. There are other discreet dating sites that you can probably get on, or professional dating services that will keep your identity discreet and won't tell people outside of, working, helping you find a partner. There's a lot of dating agencies who will do stuff like that. Margaret lets us know that she has a book deal, which I'm really excited about. I don't know if I'll buy it, but I don't know if you guys have followed my New Jersey reviews, but I said that Margaret's life seems so interesting. I would love to hear a story about her life. She seems to have had a very interesting life, and she explains that she has a book deal, and she tells us the first chapter is called Raised by Wolves. We know the history of her and her mom. Her mom wasn't really a parental figure, but more like, she let Margaret do whatever the hell she wants. She was a free spirit. Margaret says, has shared with us that she started having sex at 15 years old. But she also shares with us at the table that back in the day, when she got a really good high-paying job, that her boss coerced her into having sex with him, and didn't want to let her leave, and she was like, and I did it. And Jennifer was like, oh my God, I would never tell anybody that. There's just some things that you take to the grave. First of all, she was raped. That's what it is. When you are being coaxed and coerced and made feel bad to have sex with somebody, doesn't matter either side, if you finally give in, you were technically AR'd. Okay? So she shares that with us, and she was like, I did it. That was the time. And it's sad because we have this idea that, women sleep their way to the top. However, we're not talking about the men who make it hard for women to succeed unless they have sex with them. So it's not that she's sleeping her way to the top. She's actually being assaulted on her way to the top, because men are in position to do that to women. Let's be very clear about that. So Margaret is very transparent, and she shares that with us. And she was like, we grew up, there's a lot of crazy shit about me. She said she was 20 years old and the man was 20 years her senior, and he coerced her into having sex. And, I would never say that out loud. I would take it to the grave. No, we're not taking being a victim of sexual assault to the grave. We're telling our stories, right? So shout out to Margaret for writing a book. I'm very interested. Maybe I'll get the Audible and listen to it. Hopefully it's her reading the book, and so we could actually Shout out to L Butler, who just sent a cash app. Thank you so much. I was like, I don't know if I should read people's names, but thank you. She said, I enjoy your content. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm glad that Margaret is writing a book. I'm interested. I hope that the book is narrated by her or Lexi so we can hear that strong ass East Coast accent. I'm here for it. So, at the dinner table, Teresa brings up Jackie again. So we're like, girl, why do you keep bringing up Jackie? She brings her up again. And then Margaret says, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I miss her. I missed her on this trip. Even though I had a good time with you guys, I missed her. And, Jackie shares, we probably would have been fighting the whole time. Yes, they probably would have been fighting. And I think it was good for her. She didn't get paid for the scene she was in. They did make sure to give her scenes. So she, because they say you get paid per episode. If you're not in the episode, you don't get paid. But while they were at the lake, we had scenes with Jackie. So Jackie is good, right? She says, I'm not apologizing until she calls and apologizes for what she said about Gia, right? So Margaret and Jackie are they're sitting down and they're meeting. They come back from the lake, and she shares with Margaret that she decided it wasn't the best thing to do to go on the trip. It was just easy for her to, stay at home. Margaret starts making excuses for Teresa by saying that she doesn't know what she's talking about. And that's where everybody fucks up with Teresa, because Teresa knows exactly what she's doing. And because she's so unfiltered, it's like she doesn't realize what she's saying. No, she does. And we know that Teresa has a vendetta against Jackie for the way that Jackie and her relate to each other. She does not like how Jackie calls her out on the illogical dumb shit that she says and makes her seem like she's stupid. And so she doesn't like it. And so that's a way of getting back at her, because if she really cared about Jackie and she really wanted to tell her about Evan, she would not have told everybody at the party except for her. And I'm so tired of talking about it. Margaret says she didn't plan that. She was like, girl, are you that stupid? Are you that gullible? I love you, Margaret, but you cannot be that gullible. And that's what she tells her. I love it. And she's like, you gotta be smarter than that, girl. And she was like, so you forgive Teresa for her telling Danielle to pull your hair? And she was like, yeah, I forgave her. Forgiveness is for me. She was like, girl, I don't know if I could, basically Jackie's like, girl, I don't know if I can do it. I just want her to apologize. So she says, well, I want to have another party for Evan to make sure that doesn't leave a stain on his birthday. So we want to do another party, a redo. So she's like, okay, let's do that. She was like, girl, because I have to give him 2 blowjobs. But we know the joke is she doesn't give her husband blowjobs, right? So I hope he's not another man like Martell who feels like he needs to go out and cheat on his wife because he's not getting his dick sucked. Whatever. What are we going to do? So Teresa's house is being, they're going to videotape her house to post it. And so they tell her to get rid of all religious artifacts and all pictures of her family. And as they're doing that, they're going through the house. We're seeing all flashbacks of memories of what happened in this house from her parents. We see Joe Giudice in some of the images. We see, the kids, going down the staircase. We see Gia's prom. We're seeing all of these memories of their house. But I think, it's time to sell it. It's a big house. Nobody's there. It's just you and your 3 girls. You don't need that big ass house. Your parents are not there, so you don't have to accommodate for them. You need to, downsize a little bit. So they're showing all the flashbacks and stuff like that. Once they're done, Teresa goes, let me talk to you for a second. So she go outside. She was like, what's up with you talking about my brother? You told my sister-in-law that that my brother owes your husband tens of thousands of dollars. What's up with that? And she was like, well, she asked me what I thought about Melissa. And that's what you decided to share with her? Teresa told her, I can't list my house with you until you talk to my brother. That's what she's supposed to do. And I'm going to give it to her. That's what she was supposed to do, and say, listen, that's my brother. I'm not going to be able to list with you until you guys figure it out. And I'm sure she wants that because that's going to be a big commission, right? So I'm sure that she wants to straighten that out. And so we'll see next week because it happens. So they're preparing for Evan's redo, and he's basically saying that when friends support you, when your friends are truly supportive is when they're supporting you during rough times, right? During things like this. So she just wants to make sure that Evan, because he likes the guys and he likes the husband so much, that he does have support from this group of people. And Jackie says, and if they're unsupportive, then I don't need to be around this group of people. And I agree with her. But are you going to quit the show? Like, would you quit the show if they weren't not being supportive? So I don't know. I agree with her, but what are you going to do? So she could just apologize. She keeps apologizing, saying that she's sorry about this. And when they get to the actual restaurant or to the place where they're going to have his party, Jackie actually apologizes to Joe and Melissa Gorga for what she said about Gia. She said it was just an analogy, so she apologizes to them. I don't think she's going to apologize to Teresa. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that that was cool? That, because that is his niece. It's still his family. That's their niece, right? So do you think it was okay for her to apologize to them and still not apologize to Teresa? I think that that was okay. Like, I didn't mean to offend your family. I didn't mean to do that, but I wanted to show her how hurtful it can be to start a rumor. Joe tries to stick up for Teresa, and they're looking at, and Evan says, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Child, I have to go back. I gotta go back. So Jennifer comes and Bill wasn't there. They had a good time. She said it would have been a lot of fighting if she went. Dolores walks up and Margaret's like, who is that? Her dress is cute. And it turned out to be Dolores. Dolores is fine as hell. I don't care what y'all say. Jackie is asking Frank for support, which I thought was real. She was already drunk. She was like, just tell him that it's not real what happened. They were like, what are you talking about? She kept mentioning it. It was kind of awkward how she kept mentioning it because, like I said, I thought it was supposed to be like, let's not mention this at all. So he seems to be cool with everybody. We'll see how it goes. She was like, we just never had to deal with something like this before. And then, they're making jokes to him like, maybe you could have brought the girl with you instead. So they're trying to keep it lighthearted. And, the guys are making jokes to Evan. And then Jackie gives a toast and she says, well, the next time we have a party, maybe you can bring all the girls that you're sleeping with at the gym. So she tries to make a joke out of it too. It was kind of weird to me. Anyways, you guys, take care of each other, protect your energy. Let me know what you think about the episode. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.